A'ja Wilson was oddly silent, but complicit. All right, why was she complicit? Because, well, she knew she was getting a signature shoe for 2 years, and she let Caitlin Clark take all.
A'ja Wilson just got caught slipping. While she preaches love and light, word is she's secretly big mad about Caitlin Clark's huge Nike deal. Can you blame her? Clark pulled up to the WNBA and took over before Wilson could even react. But instead of showing love, A'ja's throwing secret shade. The drama is real and this tea is scorching. Let's break it all down.
It is not looking good for Nike yet again, dog. I don't even know how many videos I'm going to make today about Nike, but it looked like Nike is definitely the star of the damn weekend. All started with the Super Bowl commercial, them snubbing Caitlin, them putting Caitlin in, them fixing the damn commercial, them dropping A'ja's shoe. Now, come to find out, A'ja Wilson has single-handedly killed the WNBA media credibility forever. Yes. Oh, my goodness. These women was lying. Oh, God almighty. They made such a big deal over Caitlin Clark getting a shoe deal over A'ja.
A'ja Wilson just dropped her official Nike signature shoe. Congrats, right? But here's where things get shady. Remember a few months ago when people were outraged, asking, why is Caitlin Clark getting a Nike shoe before A'ja Wilson? Fans were losing it, calling Nike disrespectful, screaming favoritism, and acting like Caitlin was the villain of the WNBA. The debate was loud, messy, and full of drama. But now that A'ja finally got her sneaker, does that energy still stand? Or was it never really about fairness to begin with?
Buddy, I want the A'ja Wilson. Who? Why? Yeah, she's some WNBA player. Who? No, she's one of the all-time greatest players ever. Why?
Now, with Asia's new shoe drop, we learned she's known about her deal for 2 whole years. 2 years. That means while the internet was in chaos, dragging Caitlin, claiming she didn't deserve a shoe, A'ja stayed silent. She let the outrage build, never correcting the narrative. She even played along, acting like she had no clue about her own design. The plot thickens.
Do you have any ideas what you would want your future sneaker to look like?
I think the biggest thing for me is just I would love a low-top shoe. I play in a low-top shoe, so that's something that I would love to have carry over and something that looks good.
Oh, but it gets worse. A'ja didn't just stay quiet. She let it happen. This wasn't an I had no idea situation. She knew her deal was locked in, but still let fans run wild, dragging Caitlin Clark for months. Caitlin was just trying to survive her rookie season, dealing with brutal fouls, nonstop drama, and the league coming for her. Meanwhile, A'ja sat back, watching the internet tear Caitlin apart, knowing full well she was getting her shoe first. Instead of shutting down the chaos, she let the fire burn. Now the truth is out. So what's the excuse?
The press tour has officially took off running. We got A'ja Wilson talking about, I've been waiting 2 years for this. Wait, 2 years for this? 2 years for this. 2025, 2023. CC's announced in 2024. Delayed, not denied in 2024. Backlash, all 2024. I've been waiting 2 years for this. And then we got Cheryl Swoopes. There it is. Swoopes, there it is. Cheryl Swoopes couldn't help but embarrass herself.
If you know you're getting your flowers, why let people act like you're being snubbed? Why allow drama over something that was never an issue? A'ja could have easily said, hey y'all, don't worry, I've got something coming too. But instead, she stayed silent. Now, the same folks who were dragging Nike for giving Caitlin a shoe are suddenly quiet, acting like they never said a word. The hypocrisy is loud, and the receipts aren't going anywhere.
And these WNBA fans that did not want to see Caitlin Clark come in and do what she did, which was dominate the league. Led the league in assists as a rookie. After the season, I think I counted she broke something in the neighborhood of 63 records last year. Either rookie records or just flat records by anybody, not even a rookie. And all these fans have been mad And all the while, Asia Wilson sat back and was just plenty happy to play the victim. She could have come out and made some kind of a statement that would have called off the dogs. Nah, she didn't.
Let's talk about the bigger picture. This isn't just about sneakers. It's about how Caitlin Clark has been treated since stepping into the WNBA. From day one, the league and certain players have acted like she's the enemy, like she hasn't earned her place. But why? Because she's popular? Because she brought in millions of new fans? Because Nike saw an opportunity to capitalize on her record-breaking career? Caitlin didn't steal anyone's spot. Nike doesn't just hand out signature shoe deals, you have to earn them. And whether people like it or not, Caitlin Clark is box office. She's breaking records, filling arenas, and growing the game. That's exactly what brands like Nike want. Yet instead of celebrating both women, fans were pitted against each other, and Asia let it happen. The narrative was set, and she never stepped in to change it.
How could they give Caitlyn a shoe before they give Asia one? Oh, how could they do this? How could they treat Asia like this? 2-time MVP at the time, just before she even won the damn third one. They is wrong.
Asia Wilson stayed silent. She let her fans attack Caitlin Clark, calling her privileged and tearing her down nonstop. She had every opportunity to step in, to shut down the negativity, but she didn't. And that silence? It speaks volumes. It shows just how toxic certain players have been toward Caitlin. The girl is getting harassed just for existing, and the so-called faces of the league are just watching. But it's not just Asia. Look at Nike. When they dropped their original commercial, Caitlin, arguably the biggest name in women's basketball right now, was nowhere to be seen. The very player driving record-breaking viewership, selling out arenas, and expanding the game was completely ignored. Only after Backlash did Nike scramble to throw in a voiceover, acting like she was part of it all along. The pettiness is real, and people are finally starting to see it.
Anyway, this is my favorite thing of all. So let's take a listen to this. Nike actually put this one out after the fact.
You want to know what I'm selling? Rookie of the Year, Caitlin Clark. I know you want a tee.
Okay.
Nike.com.
They re-recorded it. Like, that's not even, I mean that. That's like, listen to it.
That wasn't an accident. It was a choice. How does the player revolutionizing the league, bringing in millions of new fans, just get ignored like this? Because the WNBA has a problem. They don't want to fully embrace Caitlin Clark, they just tolerate her. Instead of celebrating her impact, they let others tear her down. The message is loud and clear. You're good for business, but don't expect us to protect you. The league benefits from her success, but refuses to stand by her.
Because Cheryl Swoopes made news. Now, she made news last week when she sat up there and was applauding Indiana Fever players, but then forgot to mention Caitlin Clark. She jumped all in my ass because I sat up there and said, hey, how you going to ignore Caitlin Clark? You know what she brings to the table. How you just going to ignore her? That's not an accident. Cheryl Swoopes is a champion.
Asia Wilson's silence only adds to the problem. She doesn't need to personally attack Caitlin. She just has to sit back while everyone else does it for her. Because let's be real, if the roles were reversed and Caitlin's fans were going after Asia like this, the outrage would be immediate. There'd be think pieces, viral tweets, and ESPN segments calling it out. But since it's Caitlin, crickets. This isn't just a Caitlin Clark issue, it's a WNBA culture issue. Instead of rallying around the biggest star they've ever had, the league is treating her like a problem. And why? Because she's too popular? Because she's outshining the veterans? Because she's white? Let's not ignore the elephant in the room. Race is absolutely playing a role here. People act like Caitlin didn't earn her success, as if everything was just handed to her. But let's not forget, she dropped 30 a game, shattered records, and brought unprecedented attention to women's basketball. Yet, instead of embracing her, they leave her out of commercials, let her get dragged, and act like she's just another player. But here's the reality. It's not hurting Caitlyn. It's hurting the league. Because numbers don't lie. The views don't lie. The jersey sales don't lie. Caitlin Clark is the biggest thing to ever happen to the WNBA. And the way she's being treated, it's embarrassing.
So the backlash on this was quite significant. Everybody was calling out, why are you not marketing your most marketable player? And I cannot disagree, because Nike, why? Your stock is going down. Do you realize that Caitlin Clark's jersey sold out right after she was drafted, with an increase in over 1,000% reported for...
A'ja Wilson is out here celebrating her signature shoe, flexing the first ever Jordan brand women's sneaker, and rightfully so. It's a huge accomplishment. But what she might not realize is how her excitement only shines a light on the double standard in the WNBA. While she's soaking up praise, imagine if Caitlin Clark had been the one to land that major shoe deal first. The same people hyping A'ja would have found a way to downplay it. Enter Cheryl Swoopes, one of the first to congratulate A'ja. The same Cheryl Swoopes who hasn't missed an opportunity to take shots at Caitlin Clark. As soon as Caitlin started dominating the WNBA, Cheryl jumped in, making subtle digs that questioned Caitlin's success. It's clear there's a deeper issue at play. Instead of celebrating the growth of women's basketball, certain players and figures continue to downplay Caitlin's impact while lifting up others. The hypocrisy is undeniable.
I feel so lucky to be a part of the Nike basketball family for more than 30 years now. And I love to see how the brand continues to champion women's basketball and athletes who play it. I didn't text A'ja. I didn't call A'ja. I'm talking like you're not here right now.
It's not surprising, though. This is the same Cheryl Swoopes who was nowhere to be found when other white players entered the league. But suddenly, Caitlin Clark's presence is an issue. Now, when A'ja Wilson gets her moment, Cheryl's front and center, cheering her on like the ultimate teammate. The hypocrisy is wild. No one's saying A'ja doesn't deserve her flowers. She absolutely does. She's dominated the league, earned multiple MVPs, and is arguably the best player in the world. But it's the selective support that's glaring. When it benefits the right people, it's all celebration and unity. But when Caitlin Clark achieves something, the energy shifts. Swoopes and others become gatekeepers, ensuring Caitlin never gets too much credit. It's crazy how Swoopes, a trailblazer herself, can't see the bigger picture. Instead of recognizing that Caitlin's success is good for the league as a whole, she's been laser-focused on making sure people know Caitlin isn't that special. It's disappointing, to say the least.
Now, if we say her stats are today, what?
20 points, 8.4 assists, 6 rebounds.
That's crazy.
But 5
That's crazy.
5.6
Is that
turnovers.
Those are hell of a number.
Those are hell of a numbers.
rookie.
But to me, that's not dominating.
Yeah, it's only not dominating because she's a rookie.
Now,
If
No.
if she's putting up numbers like A'ja right now, would she be dominating?
yes.
So it's about
The truth is, Caitlin's impact is undeniable, and it's eating certain people alive. They can't stand the attention she's getting, the superstar status she's earned, and the fact that she proves them wrong every time she steps on the court. A'ja Wilson deserves her moment, no question. But let's not overlook the fact that the same people hyping her up are the ones who've consistently downplayed Caitlin Clark. As for Cheryl Swoopes, it's clear she'll always find a way to support some players while tearing others down. The selective support speaks volumes.
She averaged 31.6, 7.4 rebounds, 9 assists, right? Did anyone expect her to do that in WNBA?
Those three, no.
Right? So she...
A'ja Wilson, you absolutely deserve your Nike signature shoe, no question. You're a 2-time MVP, a champion, and the face of the Aces. But let's talk about how you stood by while Caitlin Clark got dragged for no reason. Fever fans remember. Everyone remembers the unnecessary criticism, the coded comments, and the silence from top players who could have stepped in, including you. And now, karma's catching up. Look at the Aces. Barely any players left, and the depth is shaky. And what's the first reaction from your fans? Blame the Fever. It's becoming a clear pattern.
What do you mean Sydney Colson is joining the Indiana Fever? What does that mean? Indiana is just being so fucking greedy right now. They took DB. They took Natasha. Now they got Sydney Colson. Like, why would they take Sydney from us?
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is still under the microscope, facing unfair treatment with little to no public support from certain superstars. Imagine if the roles were reversed. If A'ja Wilson were the one taking hard fouls, getting disrespected in interviews, and facing backlash outside of basketball, the response would be completely different. People would rally behind her. But for Clark, she's just expected to take it. Fever fans don't forget, and neither do the ones who've seen the double standard at play.
Lexi, you got the MAGA Barbie. Look, this is gonna be good and bad for the Fever. And this is gonna be good and bad for CC. Because if CC can't get a ring with the super Avengers that Kathy and the Indiana Fever has assembled, then...
The Aces have had their stacked years, and the super team era wasn't a problem when Vegas was dominating the league. But now that the Fever are reloading, suddenly it's an issue? A'ja Wilson has earned everything she's gotten. The respect, the accolades, the shoe deal. All of it is deserved. But that doesn't mean Fever fans should forget the silence when Caitlin Clark was getting torn apart. If the Aces want to stay dominant, they'll have to do what every other franchise does: adjust, draft well, and make smart moves. Complaining about the Fever taking players won't fix anything.
Didn't go get Sid. Ah! They went up and snatched Sid Colson from the Aces. She is 100% vibes. She is 100% going to be a backup for Caitlin. It's going to be fantastic. Backup for Kelsey. Like, she is a great addition to this backcourt. She has senior leadership. She has championship experience.
This year, it's Caitlin Clark. She's taken the WNBA by storm, and her Indiana Fever squad keeps improving with every game. While most rookies struggle, Caitlin's impact is undeniable, dropping dimes, draining deep threes, and elevating her teammates. The Fever are building something special, and Clark is at the heart of it. Meanwhile, A'ja Wilson is celebrating her signature shoe, a huge moment for both her and the league. But while A'ja soaks in the spotlight, Caitlin's focused in the gym, locked in on one goal: bringing a championship to Indiana. She's here to win, not just for the glitz. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe. More videos are on screen now.